So, I thought I'd join on the bandwagon when it comes to vlogging, with all the other ladies that I watch, documenting their journey through video. I'll probably remember now. So I thought I'd do a little introduction to me and what's gone on so far. So, obviously, as you know, that just before I start, if I start randomly shouting random names out, it's not random names. It's just that I have animals and they run free roam, and my rabbits tend to like muddy and chew them. Anyway, so yeah, if you know me, my name's Britt, and I'm 23, and I live with my husband in the UK. So my journey started back in 2012. I'd constantly been on birth control basically since I was back in just before I went 16. And I knew that if you're on birth control for a certain amount of time, it can lessen the chance of having your children. Little did I know that would not be the only problem I'd have. So now and again, I took a couple of break, like a year break after doing it for 3 years and so on. So my system would refresh and it'd be fine, and then go back, etc. And it came to 2012 when it was September, well, back end of August, because I was at Leeds Fest, seeing Paramore, and I had to just come off him, and I was on the kind of birth control where you took it constantly, you still had to cycle, so to speak, anyway. So I come off it, and I was experiencing quite a bit of pain. And I'd felt a lump on my left side round where my ovary should be on the left. I thought it was like a lipoma because my dad has lipomas all over his body, and I do have one at the back, on my hip. But you can only feel it when I'm really skinny, like size 8 kind of skinny. So I haven't felt that for a very long time. So I thought it was that, so I was pushing and pushing at my GP, where I was living at that time, which was in Roundhay Move, and they just kept fobbing me off with IBS, saying, oh, it's just IBS, it's just this, nothing to worry about. And I had literally had to push the doctor to send me for an ultrasound scan because I knew, like, it's your own body, you know for a fact there's something not right. So I pushed and pushed for it, and he finally gave in and let me have a scan, which showed 2 cysts on my right ovary. Bear in mind, at that point when I had the results back at with that GP, he didn't mention 2 cysts, he just mentioned 1. And I was like, so why is my left side hurting? It's not my right side, it's my left. And he practically turned around and said to me, there's not I can do, I'm sorry. So I went above him to one of the senior directors of the surgery, and I always seen him when I would lift up there. And he explained to me that I had 2 cysts in my right ovary, that one functional cyst and one hemorrhagical cyst, so I can't pronounce it. And he did say at that point, this would have been the second time I've ever heard the word endometriosis, but he said there is a sign of endometriosis having a hemorrhagic cyst. I was like, right, okay then. And at that point, I'd never heard, well, from what I could recollect, I'd never ever heard that word before in my life. I was like, what is it? So he explained it to me, and I was like, right, okay. So I went home, did more research myself, and I was like, right, okay then. And I kept going for, I didn't go for another scan after that. It was just like, right, okay then, that you know what it is. And then this other doctor I'd seen couldn't understand why I was in pain on my left side. So everything just got left. I just took a lot of Feminax. Not a lot, obviously, not addicted, but when I had that kind of month, I had a hot water bottle, peat patches, Feminax. And it was that November, it was about 2 weeks before my birthday, I started having horrible pain, especially in the pubic bone area, like stabbing pain, like I can't actually explain it. It was, and then it's like just two boiling hot hands grabbing your ovaries and holding them, but it was slow heat, it wasn't hot heat kind of thing. Sounds really weird. And it was making me sick. And it was about a week, 2 weeks before my 21st birthday. Bear in mind, I was excited at this point because I was doing 4 dates of this one of my favourite bands tour. I ended up having to do 2 instead of 4. So I missed out doing Birmingham and London. But I still got to go to the one that was actually on the day of my birthday, which was fine. Anyway, so I woke up that morning. Well, the night before, I'd woke up in the middle of the night and thrown up from the pain. I'd then got up that morning, I was fine, and it wasn't until 2 hours ago I was supposed to go to work where the pain set in and I'd thrown up again. So I was on my way to work late, had the seat in the car laid fully back, laying down, heat pad on, doped up on Feminax, got into work, I was crying, couldn't walk, I was bent over, I was sat upstairs with a hot water bottle, popped some Feminax, and was waiting for him to kick in before I went to go to work. And I got to the bottom of the stairs, and I just collapsed, I just literally fell onto the stairs, and I was just like, I can't move. I was bawling my eyes out, and my dude was just like, I'm taking you to hospital. There's obviously something wrong, you're going to hospital. I was like, no, I'm fine. For some reason, I was wanting to put off going to hospital. And one of the other guys, one of the drivers, because I worked at Domino's, one of the drivers was just like, no, seriously, go to hospital now, or my missus will come down here and drag you. Because I think his missus had cysts or whatever. And my boyfriend, who I was with at that time, he was out on delivery because he worked there as well. But James, my husband, was on shift. But at that point, we was hardly talking that much. So. But but I'd class him as a friend anyway. But he was worried, everyone was worried, and I literally remember getting up, going out the back, and throwing up again. So I ended up getting in the car with my manager, to her taking me down to Harrogate Hospital. Tell you something now, you never notice bumps in the road unless you're in pain or you need the toilet. Tell that now. So I managed to get out the car, get in, and Josh pushing the wheelchairs along where he's supposed to wheel them backwards, and he kept running into ambulance. Quite funny, and it's not funny when every time you laugh it hurts or cough it hurts, and during that time I had a cough as well. But I knew it was something serious when I actually got put in, and I was like, and Josh explained to the reception what happened, and I got rushed straight through. I didn't go through triage or anything else like that. I just got taken straight through. They wanted to do an emergency operation that night, but because they knew about the cysts, it wasn't such an emergency because they knew if they didn't know about the cysts, they would have taken me as suspected appendicitis, basically. And I was laid there, they did blood tests and wanted to do an emergency operation, but I thought no. Then I was like yes, and he was just like, well, leave it till tomorrow. And the next day I went and had scanned them. My left side was clear again, but the one on my right side, both the cysts had twisted and made one cyst, which I now knew as an endometrioma, which a lot of us endosisters understand that word, but what it is. Because at first there was either it's twisted ovary or twisted cysts. I obviously came out with the twisted cyst, and they said that I was on no by mouth for a while, and then that night, the second night I spent in, they said I was lost in food, and that if I kept food down, I'd be able to go home and I wouldn't need an operation. But they explained to me very clearly that if I couldn't keep food down and the painkillers what they're giving me, lovely naproxen and tramadol, if they didn't work, then I would have gone into surgery and I would have actually lost my left over there. Which a part of me still wishes that it did happen like that, because then I would have known a bit earlier about the endo. But then I would have lost my over. So it's a bit weird. And but yeah, the next day I got home. Bear in mind, it was like 5 days before my 21st birthday I got home. I was like, well, I'm not missing out on these two shows, so I think it was Manchester and Sheffield I did. Which was quite far. I can't remember that two or three. Anyway, I did all the local ones instead of travelling far. Yeah, I did. It was 3, yeah. You probably remember that. But no, so I did all them on painkillers, so I couldn't even drink for my 21st birthday, but I did have a good time because I had a meet and greet ticket, even though I'd met them many times before they knew me. But then I kept going. Then I was going through Harrogate Hospital, kept going for scans after scan after scan after scan, and this cyst was not getting smaller. It was getting bigger, and the last scan that I had, it was 7.3 centimeters. And I said, you know what, I'll opt to have it removed because it's not moving, it's getting bigger, it's not smaller. So on the 14th of June 2013, I had my operation to remove the cyst on my right ovary. And it was just like, the only thing I was worrying about at that kind of point was that I might have to be properly cut open, not keyhole, in case the cyst was hard. Which, lucky for me, it wasn't, and it was a simple keyhole. But you know, in the movie when they show you get this patient gets told they've got cancer and it works out, and you can hear the doctor muffling in the background, but you're not listening, kind of thing. Well, it was like that. But she was just like, oh, endometriosis comes in many stages, blah blah, stage 1 to 4, and you've got to bring back to and I had stage 4 endometriosis, and that I should start, if I'm going to start for children, I need to start taking folic acid and have a scan if I do fall pregnant at 7 weeks to check for an ectopic pregnancy. Sorry, my foot's got to sleep. But yeah, couldn't quite cry because it would really hurt my shoulder and I couldn't breathe because of the gas. I spent a lot of time recovering that and I've been a bit sick because of the anesthesia because you use gas. But yeah, practically as soon as I could go to the toilet, I was up and home, and they refused to see me as a pre-op, as a post-op. I was like, right, okay. Everything was fine, kind of thing, and then I broke up with my boyfriend at the time in September and got with James because my boyfriend at the time wasn't really helpful. He didn't understand anything. He wasn't really supportive either, but James was. Anyway, so as soon as me and James got together, we did start trying because we had been close for a while and it was a long process of me thinking of what I wanted. So we got to get, when me and James got together, we got a date for the wedding and we started trying for baby. And yeah, they say it takes a few months, but when it gets, it still doesn't, it's still not, yeah, it can take a healthy couple about 4 months to try, but still, it's every time you see that negative pregnancy test, it hurts right here. No matter if you know for a fact that you're not, or anything like that, that it still hurts every single time. So then, I think it was about, yeah, I think it was a couple. I had the operation in June, and it was around about November that I was having pain again. So, and it felt like cyst pain. Like, it's weird how to explain it, but it does. It feels like a cyst is there. So I kept pestering for a scan, but wasn't getting anywhere. So it finally took me getting into hospital and getting a letter for the doctor to then send me for a scan. That it then showed up a cyst on my left and right side. I was a bit distraught because it wasn't that long ago since I had the operation. If you think about it, and we were going through all that, and then I got put with this doctor who wanted to rule out that it was my bowel. Because I do have irritable bowel syndrome as well as endometriosis, but it didn't really do out. I just think my doctor didn't know anything. So when I rung up, because he had me doing a scan, which is a scan I was on about, and I should have had a scan with an appointment a week after, but I didn't get one. So I rung up and was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "Oh, it's about 4 months wait for him." I was like, "Right, okay then." I was like, "Is anyone open?" He was like, "Well, we've got the managing director who you can see." So, which his name is Griffiths Jones. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I looked him up and he's actually a specialist in endometriosis, which I was like, "Woo, okay then, getting somewhere." Then I spoke to him. I was only there 5-10 minutes ago, and he was like, "How long have you been trying then?" I was like, "Oh, about a year now." And he was like, "Right, we refer you to Seacroft Fertility Centre." I was like, "Okay then." So I got put with Dr. Rutherford, who is a specialist of the North for endometriosis and works with private and the NHS sector when it comes to endometriosis. So I was like, right, okay, I've got a winner here. And he's the one who did my operation as well. The one that I just had, which I'm going to get onto. So I went to go and see Rutherford, Seacroft. Went through it all. Did the whole you need to lose weight, blah 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 kind of spiel, which I already knew anyway from talking to some of the women who's gone for IVF already. And that he wanted an MRI scan and to do an operation before anything. So technically the operation was to see if naturally is possible. So went through all that, did all my hormone testing, which I think were abnormal anyway, which I don't know actually because I need to talk to him about that. And James did his tests, which he just looked funny. Normal, but looked funny. But James is funny looking, so it's fine. So I did the MRI scan and got my operation date, which was it was 1st December last year. I went in nervous. I was second down, so I was down at like 11:15. I went down, and I woke up at I was back out. I was down there for at least 2.5-3 hours in surgery. So she's come back to talk to me. I was in quite a lot more pain than normal when I woke up. So I'd been going to the gym before, so I thought if my stomach muscles have been a bit stronger, then my healing time afterwards will be quicker, which I was right about. I'd woken up, I felt a lot more pain, I couldn't really move. They expected me to get out of bed and move myself onto another bed, and I was just like, I can't even support myself. I'm in that much pain. And it was just like, oh, and they just literally dragged me across, which I wasn't happy about, but I was like, whatever. I could pee straight away. I didn't feel sick when I got up. Well, my peeing was a bit weird because my muscle was a bit like it was weird. It took a couple of days for the muscle to actually let it out, and I was leaking. It was really weird. Never had that happen to my bladder before. It didn't happen the first time, and I could move bowels straight away, which I think I know why when I spoke to them after. But everything was fine. I did stay in that night because of what I'm about to say, but it was weird that how much pain I was in, and then it just disappeared. But the doctor I spoke to in the morning when spoke to me, and she did warn me before operation that I could possibly lose fallopian tubes or stuff or anything something could be removed, and I give the go ahead. If it's damaged and it's not going to work, then remove it. So I didn't see the point of me suffering if it's not going to work, so to speak. Which I then found out afterwards why they asked me that. She came in, spoke to me, and she was just like, right, it is very severe, like really, really aggressive. The endometriosis is what you have. So it's taken about a year for it to become really aggressive. No, a year and a half since the operation, and it's all probably gone back 10 times worse. She said that it was a massive mass, like everything was in a ball. And they found it hard, like the incision what they made on top of the pubic bone. They found it hard to get up and under because everything was stuck to the wall of my actual stomach, like the belly, the skin bit, the wall. Everything was stuck to that as well, so probably what I felt so hard. They had kissing ovaries, which were then stuck to my bowel, both of them, and my appendix was mixed in with that. My bladder was stuck to the front of my womb, and that was stuck to the wall of my stomach. And I had obviously endo around it, the patches, and it was literally a big lump of it in the pouch of Douglas, literally dug all of it out, like a big lump of it, which is why I think actually I was able to go to the toilet straight away afterwards, and I have not had any pain when it comes to my bowel movements since then, so I'm very happy about that. Yeah, got up, went home the next morning because I didn't feel comfortable going home because of the pain I was in and the fact that I'd actually lost my left fallopian tube. They'd had to remove it because it was completely blocked with fluid and everything. My right one were fine. They drained the cyst, they didn't remove them because they would have lost too much ovarian tissue, which wouldn't have helped me. And they practically telling me said that I would never be able to conceive naturally. And IVF would be the only way if me and James wanted children. Which obviously I just come out and say, well, I just looked at James and went, I'm sorry, I'm broken. And the doctor had a go at me for saying that. He went, don't ever say that, it's not your fault. And so I stayed in that night because of what had happened, and to be honest, it was a bit of an extensive surgery. I went home and they put me on Prostat to stop the cycles and from it growing. And I recently, I'm due my 4th injection on Monday, but my last injection after that I had quite a lot of pain really, like the endo pain I had before, and it really got to me because it's only been about 2.5 months since I had the operation. But I do have a post-op appointment with Rutherford on the 12th of March. So, and I've tried to get as much. I'm trying to get down to 13 stone for that appointment, for me to show him that I am actually willing to take the sweat off. Then and then I only have another stone to get off after that. So maybe June I'd probably be able to start doing IVF, which you start getting excited because you can do IVF, then you think of what things, barriers and everything else, like are my eggs in good condition, is the stimulation going to work with the follicles, are they going to make it to transfer day, and all that. And I think I'd be happy just to get past all that, and that the eggs do fertilise and make it to day 5 and then get transferred in. Yeah. So that's quite about it. This has been a really long video, but there needs more awareness for the disease I've got, and I sometimes think to myself that if this disease didn't affect me having children, I don't think this disease would affect me as much. Or if I already had kids, I don't think I'd be, me personally, be that bothered about it. I think the most traumatic psychological thing about it is the fact that it's stopping me from having children. And I know, and I think myself very lucky because there's women out there who struggle a hell of a lot and in pain constantly and can't do anything. So kudos for you for still fighting. But yeah, I'll try and do at least once a week. But yeah, bye.